Hello everybody, welcome to a playthrough and a little bit of a sort of guide as well when it comes to Marvel Future Revolution. So just to point out in the video, you can hear this pop noise a few times from the footage. That is just because I'm playing via BlueStacks and a VPN, and some stuff with the BlueStacks isn't working correctly, but I'm making do. I tried to live stream this earlier and it didn't work out, but I'm going to try it a little bit harder. As a lot of you know, it's developed in Canada. Using a VPN and as well something like an emulator is acceptable and can be used, but apart from that you might have to wait till the 30th of September for release. So what we're doing in this video is doing a little bit of a playthrough through some of the various different early stages. This is like the first 30 minutes of the game, or first 45 to 1 hour, but what I've done is condensed it down to a video that has little bits of guides and information and tips and stuff, and we're going to talk about that as we go through it. So let's go! So first of all, I'm going to be focusing on Doctor Strange. All characters will go through a similar process, especially from getting to New Stark City, which is the main thing we want to do. I'm just showcasing this because, yeah, as well as talking about some of the attacks. And a lot of this is a bit of button mashing, which, you know, I think in time you'll end up kind of like getting craft and stuff. Certain types of skills, which they're referred to, I thought they were going to be referred to as different types of attacks, but they're referred to as skills, are going to be quite important for you to kind of like, you know, just understand what is going to be acceptable for what. So yeah, after the first boss, you end up going to New Stark. No, you go to Omega Fight HQ. This is when you learn up a few things and as well get your first costume that you get from pre-registering for the game, which you'll get on the 30th of September if you're pre-registering for there. So far, if anybody wants any opinion of like how this game is, I'm really enjoying it. As a lot of you know, I play Neopost games, which have the same narrative of this open world kind of like MMORPG, or kind of like just role-playing side of things and whatnot. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm doing a lot more exploration, so I'm doing a lot of side quests and collectibles, which I do recommend. But first and foremost, you get a load of things. Inventory, from the inventory standpoint, there's a lot of stuff that can be absorbed into one another, and you can dismantle them for reasons that will be explained maybe in a future video. And what you're doing very early on is assembling your costume. And I'm hoping that I've put my camera in a certain place so that it's not too intrusive. And I wanted to talk over this. I thought, should I just leave this blank? But I thought it's best to talk over it. A lot of times you have to think about your sets. There's various different sets going from set A right down to like set E, for example. And what you're able to use within those confines to add things like, okay, I'm going to add this headpiece and these feet, these kind of like shoes, for example. They're going to mean different things. Stats are going to be important, damage is going to be important. We love talking about numbers here on this channel and as well like what we're applying for whatever different reason. Battle badges are going to be important as well. They add an extra spice and damage or HP or viability, and I'm sure that Netmarble Monster will add to these down the line, but yeah, there's a lot to this that meets the eye. This is basically what your hero is going to look like. This is going to be a case that this is your build. You're going to be building your character from a cosmetic purpose, but also a functional purpose for stats and other stuff like that. So that's something to point out right here. The level, as you can see, like level 5, I think is what you start off with. Currently, at the point of recording this video, I've now got my Doctor Strange up to level 10. I want it higher, but I've just finished 100%ing all of the Stark stuff in New Stark City, which again is something we're going to talk about in a moment. So exploring will help you to 100% sign in collectibles. I mean, it says there about the extent of the stuff that you can collect from going down into and kind of collected from various different areas. There's also things called gateway passes, which help you go and teleport from point to point. I haven't spent any of mine yet, just because, well, I'm kind of like flying around and I'm doing all the side quests, so it's kind of like it's more important to kind of for me to 100% stuff. And you go through things like squad info. Essentially, your name is not really your name to you, the individual, but you as a collective, and that's like your squad of heroes. So, like, you know, when you add Captain America, you can refer to as, you know, that with Doctor Strange, with Captain Marvel, you know, that's part of your squad. And there's a lot of things as well, like squad power and things down the line that's going to be important. And the way that you kind of like you spend to improve, which I did, I just thought, hey, well, let's just kind of like do some of this squad power improvements to kind of like ramp up a bit of damage. I love ramping up damage, but at the same time you can do helpful stuff like we did HP recovery, which is important when you go into like this big boss fights to like recover your health, or maybe after that to recover your health. It's going to be very important. And that's the thing with the skills. Like, skills confuse me a little bit because I was like, oh, aren't they just like attacks or special attacks? and they're not. These have different kind of bearings on whatever you're doing, and definitely will be able to do certain things down the line. You get little kind of like breakdowns and stuff here of like how that helps out, and as well the extent of damage that they can do and how much you amplify and improve that, which you see me doing on screen now. It's just like adding a bit more, increasing the damage. And I love doing more damage, and I love doing these kind of skill improvements, because it feels like there's like this might be the Masteries type thing, and that's something to kind of like bear in mind, that there's something, and like other game developers need to take note. And I'm looking at you, Marvel Contest of Champions and Kabam. It's like you need to do something when it comes to presets, because you can see right there you can preset between 1, 2, and 3 and change that up and add in whatever you wanna do for that. Whether you find one particular attack more powerful, and especially as you go up the levels, you can then add in more kind of like powerful level ups to your skill. So yeah, this is great. I am having 100% blast playing this game at the moment, and that's great. I haven't had this much fun in a while, and I think this is because this is the game that I wanted, and I'm so happy that it is a case that it kind of like ticks boxes. Is it similar to Marvel Future Fight? Of course. Does it have the things from Marvel Heroes I wanted to see? I think it was Marvel Heroes, the online game. Yes, it just kind of combines those two, but goes a bit further than that, and definitely incorporates a lot of the newer games that you've seen, like Genshin Impact. A lot of the kind of like anime games that are being released have this kind of like open world exploratory narrative, but as well bringing the classic elements we know from any open world MMORPG, and the games that I loved back in the early 2000s, which was World of Warcraft. Now, enough talk about games and comparisons and stuff, because you go and get teleported to New Stark City. This forms the basis of the story arc. There's one thing that's a bit of a downside, and I don't know if this is because I'm playing on BlueStacks, is that there is times you go, oh right, people are talking, and then you kind of go to the NPCs, and it's like, yeah, they're not talking. Why is that? This is still fine. I can imagine doing a mobile. This is a mobile game, by the way. Trying to do something of like a high caliber to what is console level is ambitious, but apart from that, like everything is running smoothly. Yes, only people in Canada or those are VPNing into Canada can actually play this. But the fact is, the effort and the stability is slightly there, and I think that once this game kind of like we see like a huge takeoff, we see a huge amount of downloads. When the 30th of September comes, man, it's going to be impressive. But I digress. Right, we need to talk about New Stark City. Once you kind of get yourself ready, you're going to go on a little journey. You still find out on the story of what's going on, the convergence, and what Stark has been trying to do in the many months after the convergence happened, and Vision gave up his kind of life for the kind of ideals to keep everybody alive. So, what are they doing to survive? How are they doing this? And it's just found out that Ultron has twisted and turned. And that's going to be the thing. He is going to wreak havoc. And this is the thing. This is when the fight comes back. And you have to go and fight as well. There's a few times that I found like a little bit of lag. But again, I think this is down to BlueStacks. Now, what do you do from this point here? This is when you start exploring. I would recommend to anybody when you're going through different kind of areas is to click your map top left hand corner where it says like the type of channel, is just to kind of like click that. Once you click there, you will then get to see a lot of stuff, and also you'll be able to walk places. Auto fighting or auto play is actually pretty darn good. I would recommend it. I'm doing some auto playing right now whilst I'm recording this video, just to allow myself to make further progression. Is it going to be a case that when it comes to boss fights and various other different fights, you're going to have to take the wheel? Of course. But at the same time, it allows you to keep up with the grind, especially if you're repeating fighting mobs. And that's the thing. If you're not familiar with what a mob is, it's like a grouping of like enemies which you have to defeat for whatever reason. And for this particular fight narrative, you may have like this thing where you got to go, okay, I've got to fight this one, and this one at this volume. Similar again to other games, World of Warcraft, Diablo Immortal, and various other ones like that. And this is the great thing. Once you get new bits of costume, which I've just picked up something there, I was actually really happy with one. I didn't check the stats, and I think you can check the stats. I added in something which improved my attack, and that's something that I wanted to do, and that's something I like doing. I like being very attack orientated, or very much front end attack. And yeah, adding indeed new costume bids will allow you to increase stats, and we can see there, as we said, same thing with the badges as you go and collect them. And you can see there, like I'm just adding in some nice stuff there. So that's a 2-star, and it's great they're doing a starring system, especially as you go further down. I've been seeing like, and you'll see like people in the center, and I see that Netmarble Monster is doing the same thing where it's like, oh, somebody in the global stratosphere picked up something that was a 4-star, and it's all purpley and it's nice and epic, and you're like, oh, I wish I had that one because that would be really good. But yeah, as I said, this game is fantastic. Absolutely enjoying it so far, and I really do recommend it. Like, I'm not being paid to do this or kind of promote the game. It's a case that this is just like a game that speaks to me. It's a game that I've wanted for a very long time to be out, and I was so desperate, you know, getting in some blue stacks at this current point was probably the best thing I could do. It's not ideal. I would like to be playing on a mobile device or at least a tablet, but hey, you can't have everything, and I'm going to look towards a solution for that very, very soon. However, though, moving on to this is just very important. It's picking up different types of missions. The interaction's good, the cutscenes are good as well. So you go through again and understand the story, and then just start getting your fight on as you normally do. That's done. Like, a lot of these kind of quests are very easy to do. It's just a case of like time and grind and stuff like that, especially with a lot of the AoE damage you do, and that's something that's good. AoE damage. That's why I like Doctor Strange, and in particular because his AoE just like targets so many. Yes, other characters will have similar AoE and be able to target certain things, but for the purpose of this, and that's Doctor Strange. Like, that is amazing. He hovers, he flies. There's some stuff I need to kind of like learn when it comes to like danger, distance, and things like that, because with any kind of mage or magical based property character, you need to create distance. My next one I'm going to be focused on will probably be Storm, and again, because I'm a bit of a sucker for AoE. But maybe there's going to be characters down the line that have skills that benefit things like regeneration, or kind of playing into a party narrative, like whether or not you will set yourself up as a team in order to take down enemies, but also have things like a healer, a tank, and stuff like that. But that's still something down the line that you know, we need to find out when it comes to the rating-based systems, and how 10 versus 10, 50 versus 50 could potentially work. But again, continuing on. Something to learn very early on is like, as soon as you're done with the quest, probably best to just get it sorted and done. I would say as well, if you get lost, is just to kind of click on the top right where it has the in progress. So you click on that and it will allow you to kind of like go to the correct place if you've got auto fight on or auto play on. The bottom as well, where it has the 1, 2 and 3 camera setup, it allows you to go outwards and inwards, and goes into different types of things, like it feels like more of a sort of a third person, but it's like further distance away. I guess this can help when you're doing certain kind of like setups. If you've got like a phone versus doing this on the tablet, you get that kind of like different play style. And yeah, it says there about side missions and collectibles, and I would say to do this as much as possible. I've been doing that. I've kind of technically 100%ed New Stark City, and I'm just kind of like waiting as soon as I finish doing this video to then go on like a new journey to a new location and look to 100% that. But I've got to be very careful, and that's something as well. Your account. Now, your account is something that you need to think about whether or not you're playing on this device. And that's the thing. I'm playing on what is an Android, but at the same time through the Google Play, I also need to think about like, well, safeguarding that account, because this is the problem that I've got. You need to save it to either like Netmarble Monster, or it needs to be saved elsewhere, because your progress, which could be locked to the device, may be lost if you then change different platforms. And that's something I need to find out about, and I'll probably do a separate video of. I'm playing on Android now, but I could lose this account if it's not registered to Netmarble Monster, as opposed to like, you know, my other one, which is very much iOS centric, and that's where I'd kind of like say, so I need to find out that right there. Now, it's great as you go on, improve your skills. That's probably the main thing. As you collect the currency, is to then ramp up your skills as quickly as possible. Get stronger quicker, and as you go further down with different levels, you get things improved. And that's the thing. New titles as well. That's another thing. Titles lead to improvements with your stats. Who knew that? But that's the thing. That's good that it's that there's an extra level to this, and there must be something that Netmarble, Monster, and Marvel Future Revolution, the developers, wanted to put in place. That you're still taking this journey, but you're adding things like more attack, more defense, and more HP. This is great because if you're leveling a new hero, I remember what game I'm playing. New hero. If you're looking to level a new hero, and when you're starting off with a bit more potency. So that's something that's a positive right there. Also, you probably want even though this is a long kind of narrative video, I will be putting some time codes if you do want to check it out. And there's lots of coverage and stuff on screen. And as I said, hopefully I'm not going to get too intrusive. Again, the main kind of missions that you take will be like a normal, like any kind of Grand Theft Auto or kind of like there's a main story campaign that you can go through from place to place. But as well, and that's what's kind of like on the screen right now, which is that Rage Rebooted. Reading that Rage Rebooted and kind of like going through that. But then there's other stuff like the side events, the side quests that are very much important to the way that you're gathering extra stuff like collectibles and how that adds up, and trying to 100% each individual zone, because there are many zones in which to grind through and do. But I must say, like, the way that developers put in effort when it comes to like the way that these characters just look, and the various type of Ultron type enemies, and it's pretty nice. But I tell you what, it's just Doctor Strange I absolutely enjoy a lot. I've seen there's a Storm that was just there a moment ago, and that's great because I do want to get that amazing kind of white X-Men outfit, because just Storm's amazing. There is also one that was kind of like more of the Goddess one, which is the one with black and gold trim. I really can't wait to get that. From a looks perspective, I think there looks like there's a transmog system, so you can like set yourself to the one you want. But yeah, it's always good to come back to, as we just said, to autoplay. And autoplay is going to be very, very helpful for us to just go from place to place and get stuff done. Always look to the top right as to like what your missions are. Follow the play, and as well, autoplay can help out. I was autoplaying, but also kind of like mashing at the same time, which seems to like not override, but I think it does to a degree. It does override some stuff, so you can sort of like autoplay and sort of like boo, 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 hit, and sometimes I kind of go like, oh, am I on autoplay or not? Definitely when I'm doing boss fighting, as I said, like I go off autoplay, and we will be finishing the video off with the Ultron fight. I definitely like the special attack. Or I refer to like I'd say it's a special attack. It's the mega attack, whatever attack it is a really incredible thing. There's probably going to be some footage at some point, and I'll be able to point that out. It's kind of like just above the kind of the float up attack. It's like an Eye of Agamotto, and it's just incredible. It just absorbs everybody in kind of like, you've got enemies like about 8 to 10 enemies. It absorbs every single one of them and does some amazing kind of like damage with them. Skip function is great, especially if you want time to save, and as well, like this is the important point. When you're in the game, you want to learn as quickly as possible. You want to get moving as quickly as possible as well. There's so much to get done and do, but yeah, like if you want to do blue stacks, this is when this might be helpful if you kind of like you work a lot on the PC, and having that in the background can allow you to like really level up your heroes really, really quickly. So yeah, again, continuing on, doing like great work, grabbing those side events as quickly as possible. I think a lot of the functionality of picking up the health potions does help. I mean, you can see I've got 71 at the point of on whilst I'm recording. But then when you're doing some other kind of more difficult content, I think when I did the Ultron fight, there was a lot of reliance on that. So it's just kind of figuring out, like, you might pick them up from various different locations, but it may be important to pick up as many as possible, especially if you feel that like things aren't going to go your way. And that's something like, to look at. You do definitely got, and I think maybe it's important now to talk about the fight dynamic. You've got some dodging. Now don't worry too much here, because it's like this is just mobs and kind of like just mini battles and stuff not to really worry about. But at times it may be best and more prudent to use dodge. Now for me, the problem that I've got is playing on blue stacks, and that's something to mention. It's not very in the hands from the point of like reaction. So like when you're kind of like trying to evade, like I would kind of like do more of a, if I was playing on a device, I'd have more of a claw. but with doing like a mouse and keyboard, which I'm doing now, which is like the WSD, sorry, WASD. I can't speak right. WASD. It's like the movements there, and you can. It's just like clicking the mouse is not great. Anyway, teleportation. Something to mention is when you click on the map, you're able to go into things like teleport yourself from point to point to point to point in various different areas. If you click on the map or the mini map to the left hand corner, it will allow you to like pick and choose where to go, and you have to give out a token. Now that's the thing, I haven't used any of those tokens yet. At the point of recording this video, with level 10 Doctor Strange, I've only got 3. So the thing is, maybe hold on to them for the time being to see what happens. But that can help you to kind of go from point to point. And these this open world kind of like exploration can be very big and kind of like there's a lot to it. But man, I am really, really, really kind of like enjoying myself right here with this game. Getting involved with fights, you know, just having a good time. And that's the thing. That's my biggest hope. I don't know if I like push Doctor Strange as being my main, because that's the other thing as well. People have like main characters, and I do enjoy Doctor Strange. I probably will work on him to at least level 15 before considering at least doing anything more. But yeah, those badges, which we've just got up right now, are great. If you want to like change around your badges to be more kind of like powerful, it adds an extra little bit of spice and damage. Like I don't know if they're like a huge. I think they're probably a large element to improvement. Those badges can not make or break, but they definitely add to it. So you've got your skills, you've got your costumes, and you've got your badges that are adding all this kind of extra spice to your damage potential that you can do. And there's other things like titles, squad, kind of rank and stuff like that, which is still stuff that you've got to learn about and kind of like do as the process of the game continues. It's just just looking at some of this stuff and this extra loot. So you can see there, something just dropped in the center. Should you grab that? Possibly. Just like new item dropped, and like you can click on that and check out that stuff. But that's like a new badge, essentially just being kind of like not forewarned to me, but it pops up, little red mark at the top right hand corner that will kind of like give you an indication. Hey, you got something new. Go and check it out. Which is good because it just like goes like, hey, you got spicy loot. Go and add it to your system if the stats are good. Whether or not you build a certain hero in a certain way, that's going to be down to you what you feel is going to be a good thing to do. For me, with Doctor Strange, I'm very much attack orientated at the moment, and that's what I've been largely working towards and doing. I just love the AoE. It's so nice. I just got to make sure not to get too much kind of like closer and involved. Close enough, but not too much, just to do damage. And yeah, as I said on the screen, look at your map, click to guide you. This great thing about like you can click on the footstep, you click on your map and then click on the footstep, and it allows you to go to the respective places. I mean, I'll give you a good example right now on screen. If you go to your map right there, you'll kind of like see what's going on. Now for me, I've smashed out all the stuff there, but you can click to different locations like here, and it will take you there. It's kind of GPS, like it's an amazing GPS. So yeah, go and check out that. Okay, and now I'm just going to showcase the Ultron fight. So with this one, I made a few mistakes, but this is really my first testing boss. This has 5 times. I think Mordo had 4 times the health, but it's just a case of like you've got to work hard, you've got to keep your distance, and as well follow the instructions. I sort of did and I sort of didn't. I spent too much time thinking about like what attack I was doing, and again this is the problem with playing on blue stacks, where you're kind of like you're moving your mouse to click, and it's like it's not like it's in your hand. Like with the movement, with the muscle memory, it's better to go like tap 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 like this rather than going like it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work too well. So you've got to kind of like figure that out, and I am looking forward to playing on a device against this. And as it says, like the targeting system, if you're not targeting, because a lot of time you may see there's different kind of like mobs right there, and it's just like a case of like you've got to target as much as possible. This is alright. It's level 9 versus level 9. Would it have been more easier for me to kind of like improve certain things? Possibly. I should have added some more stats here and there, maybe some better badges, which I did pick up on my route. And I would say that before you face off any boss, is go to your badges section, make sure you're rocking the best badges. I think I went against Ultron with like less badges. I had like was it like level 4, a level 5 badge. I could done more kind of like skill improvements. So I'm happy with my performance, even though it's like it wasn't ideal. But you can definitely see where the rate the health potions are coming in and being of assistance. And I would say down the line I might want to kind of like pick up some more health potions, especially as one progresses on with the game, like, because it will be helpful. I think I saw red and was just like, I want to just button mash and like take this guy out because I had enough of his ways, and I got a bit too towards the end, a little bit too overconfident, because you've got to really wait until the guy just like goes into a slumber state. But I do a few dodges like here and there, and that's the problem. I'm kind of like mashing the dodges area, but the dodge is on cooldown. So you need to time it in better than what I was doing, and just kind of like making sure that you can dodge as much as possible rather than over spamming, which, as I said, like doing it. A bit of a mistake, but it is what it is, and you know, things got a little bit hairy right there, especially dropping down as much as I do. But yeah, you just got to stay away from stuff that like AoE is being put in your way. You can AoE as well. You can be that kind of mage in this, but you've got to keep your distance. Did a little bit better there. Got a little bit of nice regeneration as I kind of like dipped away and didn't have to worry quite so much. But yeah, just like there's sparks of brilliance when things go really well, and then not. And as I said, like, this is all about you utilizing your badges and making sure that you, before going into any boss fight, are rocking the best possible outcome for you. That you've got the best skills that you can possibly do, that are wrapped up and ranked up. You've got the best badges on that you can possibly do, and as well, just to make sure that anything that you could be opening, even new costume wise, could be like helping out, just kind of give you those kind of extra fighting stats. It just massively helps out, because like you're going to see here, like, health potions aren't going down too much, but definitely it's a case like I'm being kind of bolstered by that as well. Luckily that's on like an auto. I am auto fighting, but I am also mashing. You're probably going, oh Richard, you're auto playing. Yeah, but I'm still mashing. That's the thing, you can auto play, but as well at the same time you can override that by mashing at the same time. Maybe I should have taken it off. Maybe that was something that was a bit of a boo-boo there. And here's the thing, I start getting really aggressive towards the end because I'm like, okay, it's nearly done for. I can then do my thing. Good dodging there, kind of like plays particularly well. Then, a little bit of suckiness, but you know, at the end of the day, and this is the last section, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so close. Just get him down. Just get him down. I just get him down to 40%, 30% for me. Back up because I've got looked after there by health and healing, and finally, it's over. But yeah, love from mistakes there. That was my first boss fight that I did, or second boss fight if you count Mordo, but that was a very easy one. And yeah, that's just the top tips there, really. And this has been a potentially 30-minute first impressions playthrough guide, and just like helpful tips. So I'll kind of leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'm going to do a lot more Marvel Future Rev content. I need to figure out my schedule of how I'm going to do this, but I'll definitely try and commit to at least 1 to 2 videos a day. Appreciate you all for watching, and see you all very soon. Have a good one, and bye-bye.